Welcome to Windworks, the podcast for community wind players who want to go on stage feeling informed, confident, and inspired. I'm David.
And I'm Jenny. Today we're opening the score to The Wind in the Willows by Johan de Meij, published by Amstel Music. Level 4 on most lists, arranged for wind orchestra by the composer himself. No strings here, just the incredible palette of winds and percussion bringing Kenneth Grahame's classic riverbank adventures to life.
If de Meij's name rings a bell, you've probably played his Symphony No. 1, The Lord of the Rings. He loves storytelling through sound, and Wind in the Willows is cut from the same cloth, a vivid, cinematic tone poem that sketches the world of Mole, Rat, Badger, and the irrepressible Mr. Toad. It's not a literal retelling so much as a series of musical scenes, snatches of river light, dark tangles of the wildwood, and bursts of comic bravado and Toad arrives.
What makes this piece special is how approachable it is for a community wind ensemble, yet how professionally it's crafted. De Meij writes like a filmmaker with instruments. He layers color. He'll let a melody blossom in clarinets and oboe, tint it with saxophones and horns, then add a shimmer of percussion that makes the whole thing glow. Level 4 means you can conquer the notes, but the real magic is in shaping character.
Let's paint the big picture before we go bar by bar. Imagine the opening as the river. Long, unhurried lines, gentle motion under the surface. You'll hear phrases that want to float rather than march. Then we move into the wildwood. Harmony gets a little spikier, the texture denser, and the rhythms start to prowl. And when Toad arrives, suddenly the music grins. You'll feel a burst of rhythmic swagger, bright brass colors, and cheeky interruptions, like the band winking at you.
Players, here's where to aim your ears. Woodwinds, you're the water. Flutes and oboes, think legato arcs with vibrating life inside. Don't let the line go dull. Clarinet section, your chalumeau warmth forms the riverbed, so balance toward a dark, even blend and keep the airflow spinning so the texture doesn't sag. Saxophones, you're often the bridge between wood and brass. Match the clarinet color beneath you and pass seamlessly to horns when the melody shifts. If the baton moves, the river is changing direction. Follow the current.
Low reeds, bassoon, bass clarinet, and any contras, your job is stealth. In the wildwood-type passages, you give the music its uneasy underfoot feeling. Articulate cleanly at the front of the note, then let the resonance bloom. If there are repeated notes or murmuring figures, keep them light and evenly spaced. This is about suspense, not heaviness.
Horns, you are the storytellers. De Meij loves the horn choir for noble or rustic color. Keep the vibrato minimal and the attacks cushioned so your lines sit like a narrator above the texture. And when you hand off material to saxophones or euphoniums, lock that handoff with identical crescendo shapes. Don't pass a forte to someone who's still at mezzo piano.
Brass, your two superpowers in this score are character and restraint. For the pastoral sections, find your softest, warmest core sound, clarity without edge. When the Toad energy hits, flip the switch to crisp articulation and buoyant accents, but keep the vertical alignment pristine so it sounds cheeky rather than brash. Trumpets, watch the style markings. De Meij often asks for a smile in the articulation, not full staccato, more a lifted dab. Trombones and euphoniums own the lyric countermelodies, phrase like singers, and leave room at bar lines so the music can breathe.
Percussion, you're the colorists and clockmakers. Mallets, Glock, vibes, should shimmer, not shout. Think light reflections on water. Suspended cymbal rolls need a perfect entrance and decay that matches the winds. If you've got tambourine, triangle, or woodblock in the Toad moments, articulate like a comedian. Clear, intentional, and a touch mischievous. Timpani, tune the thirds carefully with the low winds and aim for a round attack so the pastoral passages don't feel percussive.
A few global rehearsal tips. First, pacing. The temptation is to hurry the beautiful river phrases, especially when the harmony is consonant. Trust the long line, use staggered breathing, and keep the accompaniment moving quietly underneath so the melody can float. Second, balance. Demai writes juicy inner voices. If you're playing the middle, you matter. Bring out suspensions and passing tones that create the harmony's color. That's what gives this music its glow.
Third, rhythm. When the music turns to toad mode, you'll likely see mixed articulations and offbeat hits. Subdivide together and decide as a section what light means. Agree on staccato length in eighths versus quarters. Percussion can help by being the most consistent subdivision in the room. And if meter changes crop up, play the gesture, not the bar line. Feel the phrase over the change so it's characterful and not clunky.
Intonation watchouts. Listen for stacked thirds in woodwind chords. Flutes and clarinets often carry the high thirds. Keep them a touch low to lock. Saxophones and horns, those fifths must be pure or the whole forest tilts. In darker passages, check any concert F-sharp or B-natural clusters. Aim for a centered core and less vibrato so the harmony speaks clearly.
Musically, ask yourself, what am I describing right now? If it's the river, let your vibrato be gentle, your attacks rounded, and your releases tapered, so the sound disappears into the scenery. If it's the wildwood, color the note, add a little edge at the front, lean into crescendos that feel like branches closing in. And if it's toad, have fun, but fun with precision, rhythmic smiles, not smirks.
One more thought about phrasing. Demai's lines often climb in small steps before a leap. Shape those steps with contour, each one slightly more energized than the last, so the leap feels inevitable. Then spend the energy after the leap. Don't land and go flat. That's where performances go from good to goosebumps.
And conductors, consider seating that lets color handoffs feel like real conversations. Saxes close to horns, euphoniums close to low reeds. It helps the audience hear the story pass from character to character without a seam.
The joy of The Wind in the Willows is that it invites the band to act, not with words, but with air, time, and color. If each section commits to its role, river, wood, or toad, the piece sparkles, even without a single string on stage.
That's all for this episode of Windworks. If you'd like to hear how these ideas come together, click the link in the description to listen to an example of this work.
Until next time, keep the air moving and the stories flowing.
See you at the riverbank.